was. Yeah, because I remember you texted me when you sent the message. It was I think it was like 5 a.m. or something like here, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this guy's on that crazy time, but it was there. All right, I'm pretty sure we're live. I just gotta look at my phone. All right, move this up. Yeah, because I remember you texted me when you sent the message. It was I think it was like 5 a.m. or something like here, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I just. All right, here we go. What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome to the channel. I am live. First time interviewing an individual. We're here with Mr. Damian Prosalendis. I actually reached out to this individual. Wanted to get more of his background. I want to get a little bit more of his history. I noticed that he likes to inspire people to be better, which I do admire. That's pretty good. He also is proficient in MMA, I'm seeing, but I'm wondering if he'll chase that UFC career. We'll definitely get into those questions in a few minutes. But to everybody that's here, go ahead and hit that like button, share it out so more people can definitely join us, and let's have a good show. Mr. Prosalendis, it is an honor to actually talk to you. What is going on? How you doing?
Thank you for inviting me here, man. I really appreciate it. And it was a bit of a surprise, actually, because usually when gaming channels interact with me, the vibe isn't really that positive, you know?
Well, here's the thing. There's an old saying. You treat
But I was
those...
very surprised by your message.
No, thank you. It's an old saying. You treat those the way you want to be treated, That's how it is. A little bit of kindness, a little kindness goes a long way.
That's true.
And,
That's true.
those type of things can go a long way. That's how it is. It's all about creating a message, It's a way of doing it, and there's a way of getting a message out there to more
Yep.
like-minded
Yep.
people. And regardless if there's a difference of an opinion or a belief, we can all come together. We should be able to all be able to come together and have a conversation, regardless of whatever belief.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a goal. After all, we cannot all have the same exact opinions on everything. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep, that is very, very true. Very, very true. Okay, I see the chat. What's going on, Unguided Flame? What's up, Pablo, James? Hey, Dawn. Who is this guy? Some of you asked, who is this guy? Why don't you fill them in on that, Mr. Prosalendis? You have the floor. Like to tell them about yourself.
All right. So I'm a fighter, an entrepreneur. I started out being a fighter when I was in my teenage years, and then stopped doing that because my family and the whole country of Greece was going through financial troubles. And so I went to study in a university, which is free here in Greece, unlike in America. I got access into the Faculty of Chemical Engineering. And then after about 1.5 years, I had to quit on that and start my entrepreneurial journey, which another 1.5 years later made me a millionaire.
Wow.
And that's the short version of the last 10 years of my life, approximately.
Okay, and just been smooth sailing ever since, pretty much. Or have you been like building goals and kind of like achieving them and building more, or you keep setting the post higher, the goal post higher? Is that what you kind of do? Like you don't necessarily have like an end goal
right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I understand the question, Ryan. Could you explain it a little bit?
Oh, so obviously, how's like you said you became a millionaire, so how obviously things have been better for you going forward, right? Like things have improved for you from being financially stricken, right? And since you've been financially stricken to better, have you been creating more goals for yourself, to like better yourself and improve and get better and better and, improve your craft, basically? Have you been doing stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that there is no stop in self-improvement, and actually that happiness comes through ongoing self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about success and money and business on Twitter, I often it often is perceived by people that all I care about is money and success in business, and that's just the byproduct of ongoing self-improvement. Is not the end goal by itself. Is just an after effect. Because when you aspire for ongoing self-improvement, this will inevitably come in your life, because you become a higher value person, and therefore everything in your life starts improving because of that.
Okay. So is that why you tried out for, like, is that why you are more, I would say, dedicated to MMA? Is it like the calmness of the mind, so to speak, the discipline, mental?
Fighting is a very, very good way to constantly push yourself to transcend the limits of your mind, because what I discovered, especially after I became successful in business, is that I wasn't as motivated to go out and do things as I was before. Because before I had any success in business, I was a poor university student in Greece. I often worked jobs for $3 per hour, sometimes even $1 per hour, distributing flyers on the street. I had to sleep on a mattress I picked up from the trash, and did other very embarrassing things. And I had to get by somehow.
Yeah.
So it was at that time, it felt like I was very angry. I felt disadvantaged. Other friends of mine were in a better financial situation, and I felt like the world was very unfair to me. And I wished I had been born in a more financially stable family. Yeah, and I blamed everybody but myself. And I couldn't realize at that point that all those difficult experiences and all the hardships were the fuel that I needed to get out of that situation and improve my life.
Right.
And then when I became successful, I didn't have those to motivate me. And contentment, success brings contentment. And you start, I mean, it's not like you don't appreciate what you have, but you don't have some kind of pain, something that bugs you, that makes you want to improve your life, because everything's fine.
Okay. So it's kind of like a relaxed environment where no worries, kind of, versus MMA where you have to constantly improve in order to advance to certain levels, right? That's basically.
That's right.
Okay.
Or you'll get your ass whooped.
So you ever consider UFC? You ever consider that type of thing?
I have.
I mean, you're young. You're like what, 24?
23 now.
23 now. Okay, yeah, you got plenty of time. I don't know why you're not. I don't see UFC videos. Where are the UFC videos? I should see you on the Ultimate Fighter. Where that
at? Maybe. This is a very interesting conversation, because the kind of training that you have to go through to become a professional fighter. I'm not a professional right now. I'm just an amateur. Although I've been training for a couple of years, but
I guarantee you can.
It's a whole different level to do it
amateurs
professionally.
Yeah.
But it requires a different set of sacrifices, which I haven't yet decided if I'm willing to make in order to go pro.
Right, like time.
Because it's the same thing. It's not just about time. It's also that motivating force that pushes you to get there. I've studied a lot of successful MMA fighters, and they all start from similar origins. From the origins I started back in the day, and they have the same kind of hardships, they experience the same kind of difficulties. They often come from impoverished places. For example, many great boxers come from Mexico, because Mexico is not a very well-developed country. And therefore, young kids are searching for a way out of that, and they find it through boxing. So Mexico has a history of producing excellent boxers in the past very few decades. And no matter whether you want to compete in MMA or box, you usually have to come from that place where you are angry with the world because your life is just so bad, like mine used to be. And I suppose I could have gone into fighting professionally back then, but for some reason I got into entrepreneurship, and I found that way out of it.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. That is definitely good to see you strive and definitely achieve, a lot there. That's incredible. That really, really is incredible.
Thank you, man.
What would be your? I guess many people have asked me this, and I guess maybe you can figure it out, or you can fill in that gap. What exactly is it that you like do? I know you're an entrepreneur, but what exactly is it that you like do? Do you like operate a business, like in terms of like selling stuff, or do you like what I'm saying? Like, are you into like what exactly is you do for a career, like business
Yes.
wise?
All right. I'm in several industries right now, but
Okay.
I think it would be better to say where I started from and how I got where I am now. So the short intro is that I started out freelancing online, specifically on Fiverr.com.
Ah, okay.
And then I learned some copywriting and e-commerce. I started from that, and I started getting so many clients because I practiced it a lot. I worked 16 hours every single day. That was back then when I was still in uni, although I
Right.
wasn't going to uni. But anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the grind. Yeah, of
And
course.
yeah, and I was getting so many clients that I couldn't service them all by myself.
Mm.
So I started hiring people and hiring people. And that little freelancing operation I had on my own evolved into the world's largest consulting firm for Amazon sellers in the world, with over 10,000 clients in 116 countries.
Wow.
It became huge, but I've now exited that for other reasons, mainly because it was as I started traveling the world and enjoying life more, I decided to get into some business that's related more with lifestyle. And basically, the life I was living, the constant traveling, partying, having fun, girls, enjoying myself, wasn't really on the same page with a professional consultant.
Mm.
So I had to choose one of the two. And obviously, you know what I chose.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a very
If
hard
you follow
choice.
this man's tweets, you know this man is all about business. He play last is all about business, which is good though. That's good. That's good. I guess you because I saw your interview with Grant Cardone, so I figured maybe you say he was your mentor. That was yes. He's like your mentor.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Grant and Ty helped me very much.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. So you basically follow his model, was basically work, 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 and then when you have what he considers freedom, then you just party and have fun. And basically, for those of you wondering what freedom is to Grant Cardone, it's like what was it, 10 million, something like that for like net worth, something like that
Yeah,
for
yeah, I think that's where he defines it. Yep.
yeah. So yeah, that's basically that's what Grant likes to call freedom. So that's cool. That's cool. Good to see that you actually took notes for what he was. I was sitting there laughing at the whole interview, to be honest with you, because you brought him a time. You was like, "Oh, you make $100,000 a month, man. You don't even have money." I was sitting there laughing like, "Whoa, so what is wrong? What's wrong
Man,
with Grant?" So that was funny.
that was so weird.
I think your title summed up the interview perfect. You was like, being a millionaire never felt so broke. I was like, damn, this is funny. So
Yeah.
that's cool though. That is really, really cool. Oh man, that's
Yeah, he,
awesome.
he just operates at such a different level. It's just impossible to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The way
He
his
actually
knowledge of it
proves
too.
what he says about 10xing.
Yeah. His knowledge on the situation is really, really insane. I saw a video where he broke down some of his firms, like how he goes about, just buying stuff like stocks. And I was like, wow, that is really, perfect. How he does it. So that's awesome. That's good to see though, that you got where you are. That's awesome. I guess I'll ask you this. What would be your advice to those who are up and coming or just starting off? Like, what would you say they should go for when they consider this type of thing to become an entrepreneur?
Hmm. Shall I assume you're asking about young people,
Yeah,
late
of
teens,
course.
maybe early 20s?
Mhm.
The reason why I'm asking is because the dynamic of their life changes in your late teens, and then if they are in the late 20s. So the type of advice that you give those two demographics varies a lot, because the first kind of people that just now out of high school, or maybe in the first few years in the university, still have the benefit usually of being supported by the parents, and they don't have a job, and therefore they can allocate their time in different ways, as opposed to somebody who's in their late 20s and they have to, if they want to get into entrepreneurship, they also have to find a way to do it together with their job in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're talking about very young people in their late teens or early 20s, I think the most important thing is that they should be really honest with themselves and what they want out of their lives. Because what I see a lot of young people do, and I also did because I didn't know better, is that they just mindlessly follow their parents' will, and they just follow a predetermined path other people chose for them, and they just totally neglect their own dreams and desires. And that's the worst thing to do if you actually want to be happy with your life, because you choose to embark on a journey that life sometimes is very binary. If you have limited time and energy, and if you choose to walk down a particular path, then you have to allocate at least some of your time and energy into that in order to have some success with it. Let's say that's university. And if you want to do something else at the same time, just one of the two will suffer. The more things that you add to your life, you're not a robot that can operate 24/7 and just seamlessly switch between tasks and do everything perfectly. So you have to be very conscious and deliberate with what you choose at that young age, and not just do something because others want you to do it.
It, right?
Yeah, and usually nowadays, it's university has become a deal where it's very convenient for both the parents and the kids to be on the same side, because they both have an incentive to do so. And what I mean is that the parent wants, at least not every parent, but the vast majority, when their kid graduates and they get their degree, the parent is also benefited by that, because they can feel proud about their children. They can brag about it to their friends, their co-workers. So they get a little ego boost from that. On the other hand, the kid, when it spends 5 years in school, it's like a prolonged vacation in many cases, where you just get to enjoy 5 years of your prime to just party and have fun and do that with the parents' bankroll. Obviously, not everybody does that, but I found that the vast majority, that's what they do.
Yeah. Okay. I saw that you it was a post you made. I think you said about you shouldn't really worry about not necessarily going to university, right? You said just double up on your education in terms of like knowledge towards pretty much knowledge towards business, right? That was one of your tweets. Not tweets, but it was one of your videos I saw. You said this. You said you should double up on your knowledge of business, and of course read books to definitely learn more, whatnot. That was what you basically were getting across. Don't you think that kind of falls in the same line as the university, though? I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing. I mean, hence why they have different careers. You know, they have business, essential type studies, right? They have those. They have, obviously, for being like going into criminal justice and stuff like that. You know, they have books for these particular things, and they go through this and teach you at a university. So when you say that you kind of would recommend still going to a university, you know, college? I mean, I understand you might say, let's go into it young. Let's definitely go into it while it's fresh, I guess you can say, rather high school or whatnot. But you know, usually it would be smarter to double up. You know, it never hurts to have a little bit of college education on your resume. Never hurts. Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, but it's all very relative. You cannot just consider one parameter of how you're gonna live your life and then make all your decisions based on that. You have to also insert other parameters. So, for example, what's your end goal?
Right.
Like, there are some things that you cannot do without a university. At least right now, you cannot. You cannot become a lawyer on your own. You cannot become a doctor on your own.
Of course.
And there are some other more specialized fields where you need licensing, or you need
Like
specific
cosmetology, plastic surgery.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some things that you cannot learn without going to a specialized institution. However, when the vast majority of people just want to use university as a means to achieve some kind of financial freedom, I think they should at least consider the possibility of becoming self-employed or entrepreneurs, because that gives you the opportunity to live your life as you please and achieve that financial freedom. It's not for everybody, obviously. However, what I've seen is that most people don't even consider that option at all, and they just totally dismiss it. Or I don't know. Nobody ever tells you that you can become an entrepreneur as you grow up. That is a viable alternative to going to uni.
Right. That's like if you're there's this thing in school, it was called tech prep and college prep. So if you're a tech prep, which is technical institute, they will basically immediately take you into classes specifically for entrepreneurship. But they don't really push entrepreneurship as like a main study for, obviously college prep. They never do that. And that is kind of weird. You would think that they would push that as an option, just to give you another option in terms of, when you're out there. Let's say, for example, let's say you become a dentist and you might want to consider being an entrepreneur. It wouldn't hurt to have that type of information to transition easier, especially when you have a good paying job to help you, get the startup required, because you all need a startup. So that is definitely true.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It just doesn't happen. And also there is a set of valuable skills that you just don't even learn at school or even later in university, like sales, persuasion, marketing, which are all crucial afterwards. Even if you have a degree and you want to get a job, all those skills could help you excel at your job if you bother to learn them, but they're not taught in school. And that's why I'm saying you have to make some effort to be self-educated, regardless of whether you choose uni or not, because you're going to need it. You're going to need that habit later in your life.
Okay. Yeah, well said. Okay. Let's see here. What else did I have to ask? I have quite a bit. So you, I think you said, yeah, that's right. It was this. You have a website, right? Website that you set up for teaching everybody the basics, of entrepreneurship. Okay. So how exactly does that work?
Yeah, it's called dareandconquer.com. And I started writing on it back in 2015 when I started my journey in entrepreneurship. And it's just, I have been sharing my thoughts and experiences and everything I learned on that website until late 2017. That's where I probably stopped writing regularly on it. That pretty much contains most of the information somebody would need to at least attain the millionaire level.
Okay. Do you, I know a lot of people would consider that good. Do you think, how many people you think you've actually probably helped with it? Do you ever get messages like saying this improved?
Every day.
Every day?
There are just so many that I had to hire somebody to organize all the testimonials and all the positive messages I've gotten. And they're just still too many.
Oh, wow. So this is on Twitter or YouTube?
On Twitter, on YouTube, over email, on comments on their website. And I have different folders with saved testimonials on Dropbox, on Evernote, and it's just a mess right now. I still have to organize them properly and then set a system in place to just receive them and store them. It's just too many.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you actually reply. I mean, you reply to everybody, it would appear, because you get in touch with people relatively quickly. So that is also pretty cool that you do. Definitely reply.
I try for at least an hour a day to spend my time on social media in order to interact with people. Because I believe it's important to help others rise too. You don't live in a selfish world where it's all about yourself. And actually, the best things in life happen when people collaborate. And by sharing knowledge and resources with each other, then we can all progress and achieve more goals together.
Okay, that's cool. That's definitely cool. I did notice that. A lot of people did get replies to me. You retweet them, so that's really cool. You post a lot of self-empowerment type tweets for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of those. So that's another cool thing for it. Let's see here. Got that out the way. So what would be, I guess, what would be your end goal for YouTube? I know you really embrace YouTube to get your message across, to help inspire others. I know you put a lot of production value into your actual videos, into it. But what do you think your channel might end up like in the future? Do you think more people will get the message and spread the word? Do you think more people will be inspired, or do you think it would just kind of be like, oh, like we heard you, move on, let's just do here? What do you think about it?
Hopefully, it's not going to be the last thing you mentioned. Hopefully, it's going to grow and people are going to actually take the advice and implement it. And on my end, it doesn't make any difference if one person follows the advice that I preach on the channel or on Twitter or anywhere else, or if 10,000 people do it, because it's not going to help me in any way. Obviously, if my channel grows, I get some kind of notoriety, influence, I have more social currency, but that's just not going to affect my life in a major way as it would affect somebody who is going to take that advice and implement it. For example, there is a kid I talked to in India. He's about 3 years younger than me, and he found my website about 2.5 years ago. And I think he now makes about 10,000 euros or dollars a month, and he employs 4 or 5 people in his office, and he's only 20 years old in India. And that's like huge money. They're not even government officials make it. So when I hear those kind of stories, I feel content. Obviously, it would be better if like there were 10,000 stories like that, but I'm happy that I just touched one person with a foot out there.
Okay. Here's another question. What are your favorite hobbies to keep you at a perfect mental stability to do what you do, whether it be YouTube, obviously the entrepreneurship, and of course, hell, even embrace toxicity, if you will, on Twitter. I know you might run into that. So, what are your favorite hobbies?
Yeah. 3 things: reading books, martial arts, and lifting weights. This is like my trifecta for not only. It exercises every part of yourself. It trains your soul, it trains your mind, it trains your body, and it just improves your life from every considerable direction. And I believe that everybody should do those 3 things: read books, train martial arts, and lift weights, because there's just no downside to any of them. And they all keep you sharp, and they all make you a higher value person. They give you opportunities. They sharpen your mind, and you just develop so many more tools to succeed in life through those things.
Okay. Friend of mine named Kelly, she actually watches your channel. She's the one who recommended your channel to me. She asked me, what was your favorite book? Like, if there was a favorite book or a book that you would recommend to your viewers to actually start getting into, or a series to get into, that might not necessarily for entrepreneurship, right? It would be more like an empowering type of thing to get you in a good mental stability, kind of like a confidence builder, if you get what I'm saying. They're like a good book in that case. What would you consider?
There are so many good books out there, and so difficult to pick just one, because the way I think about life is that it's like a puzzle, and you need to get all the pieces together in order to see the full picture. And there is no one book on the planet that will give you the full picture.
Okay.
It will just give you one or maybe a couple pieces of the puzzle, and then you have to look into other sources to complete the whole thing. So I put together a list a while ago, because I'm asked this book question a lot of times, and It's on darrenconquer.com/millionaire books, and it's just 12 books I believe everyone should read in order to have a chance of becoming a millionaire. It's just all the financial or the foundational knowledge you need in order to become financially successful. Because as soon as you accomplish that, then every other piece, it's like a domino. You hit that first one, and then everything
kind of
falls
flattens out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Stace. You got your answer. It's on his website. Definitely check out his website. Let's see here. This is from, oh my God, really, Stacy again? Okay. She wanted to know what kind of dog do you have? I don't know why this is even a question. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a blue French bulldog.
Oh, he's a French bulldog. Okay.
Yep.
There you go, Stacy. Here's your question. I'm gonna skip those. Jesus Christ. She asked me personal stuff. Like, okay, let me just move those because those we get back to business. That's rude. Anyway, what would you say? Let's see here. Actually, I think I asked you that one. So, what do you think are the core principles to make you successful, not just in entrepreneurship, but in life? Yeah, there you go. What'd you think about that one, dude?
Core principles. If I were to have just one,
yeah, core principles, like you could name them.
Yeah,
like,
because it's again, it's the puzzle. It's the puzzle again. You need to have many moving pieces all working together, perfectly integrated, in order to get the absolute best result. It doesn't come. For example, with reading books, which I considered an excellent success habit to develop. It's just not going to give you everything if you just sit on the couch 12 hours a day and read books. Yes, you will become incredibly smart, but what about your physical health? And what about your mental well-being? And what about enjoying your life a little bit? So it's just, success is like a big chain. You have many links that you have to add next to each other. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, reading books for at least an hour a day is a very good habit to develop. Exercising or lifting weights for another hour a day is another very good habit. Practicing affirmations is also another good one, which is basically a way to change the thought patterns in your head and start thinking in different ways.
It's like a bigger picture
to get
kind of like thinking like a broader scope, basically.
Not exactly. So if you think about the thoughts that dominate your mind most of the time, and how you think, how you speak to yourself, your self-talk when you do things. For example, many times you do something wrong, you screw up, and you're like, I'm such a fool, I'm an idiot. How did I do that? And that's a very wrong way to speak about yourself. You wouldn't speak like that to somebody else, You wouldn't go to your friend, you'd be like, oh, you're such an idiot. But many of us speak like that to ourselves. And oftentimes because it's not really spoken, it's not articulated, it's in our mind. We don't realize that we're doing it, but we just instill negative thought patterns in our head, which then become our behaviors and actions.
Okay.
And therefore affirmations are a practice where you learn to speak to yourself in a particular way, and therefore that changes your thought process, and that changes your actions, and that changes your life eventually.
Okay. This is a good question from a friend of mine. His name's Derek. These questions are all from friends that I know personally. But my homie Derek asked me because he really wanted to know this question. Obviously, he sees like they call this the American dream, pretty much. When you see somebody on TV, rich or just known by the world. Would you consider money to actually legit buy happiness? Would you consider that to be a truthful statement, or do you think that's just more of a ignorant statement or a silly statement just to kind of like not necessarily inspire them, right? But it's just one of those silly statements to get them in that that mindset to, like, you know, because you know how people, they say money buys happiness and they advertise stuff to make you buy their stuff. Would you see it like that particular type of thing, or is it a truthful statement?
I think this statement is like a knife with two sharp edges, and it depends on what way you're looking at it. Because money can buy happiness, of course, but it can also not buy happiness
And create
So
problems, right?
again, puzzle again. You don't have one piece; you have many moving pieces all working together. So, for example, one thing. Let's say that you have $15 million in your bank account. All right. The way that you acquire that money will determine how that money makes you feel.
Ah, okay.
So if you, and just one parameter, you can insert more. Then you could also gauge the happiness that money creates for you by how you employ it. But anyway, let's just talk about how you acquired it. So if you created that wealth all by yourself, by overcoming struggles and defeating obstacles and making the impossible possible, then you're not just gonna feel happy because you have the money, but you're gonna mostly feel happy because of what you did. And money is just an after product of what you did, and it's not like you feel happy because you have the money, but you
just
feel happy
I
because
guess,
of the
confident.
person you've become. Yeah, you feel happy because of the person you've become to acquire that money. But if you inherited that, or if you won it in the lottery, you haven't really done anything to earn it, and therefore the
So
potential
no sense
happiness
of
it could
achievement.
provide you, yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be fleeting.
I got you. I got you. So no sense of achievement. You would think that it would just feel like, oh, just given to me, you know, and I just have this
Yeah,
new life, basically.
that's right.
Okay. So kind of like you just throwing somebody, like you just gave somebody a job, just for the sake of giving them a job, versus that other person who went the extra mile to learn, you know, the business, the ethics, everything to get in there, and then that particular thing, you know, versus that type of person's
Yep,
reaction. Okay.
yep.
Okay.
How you obtain it matters.
Okay. Okay. Um, what's your thoughts on depression? What are your thoughts on?
Depression.
I know you had a
Oh
troubled
man.
background. I know you really troubled background. I know that's affected you, but it's also made you mentally stronger because you know what to do, what not to do to pretty much end up back there. You know, in that particular situation. I've suffered from depression numerous times. You know, I've been sick a good amount of times. I've diagnosed with eczema when I was 5 years old, so I've really had a bad one at times. But you know, I've always pushed forward. What would be your thoughts on depression?
Um, I'm not gonna say it does or doesn't exist. I'm just gonna say that it's not a thing that you miraculously catch from the fly. It's not like the flu that somebody gives it to you or it just happens to you. There is a process that leads to it, some events that create it. And oftentimes it's ourselves and our own actions that leads us to being depressed. It's the things that we do on an ongoing basis, our daily habits, our routines, the people who hang out with that create it. And it's not just a chemical imbalance that just appears out of nowhere one day because you woke up and depression just struck you.
Okay. Would you say that oh, obviously I've seen this, MMA or going to a gym or just kind of turning the negative into a positive by channeling it into something can usually make things better. That's how I did weight training for a long time. So that's what I mostly was about. But would you say that would be a good fix, good cure for depression for a lot of people?
Absolutely. But it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be easy. Because let's assume that somebody is 25 years old and they feel depressed with how their lives is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's 25 years of decisions that led them to that result, and you just cannot undo it in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. It might take a longer period of time to recover from what you've done in the past 25 years. So obviously doing anything that has to do with your own self-improvement, with setting goals and achieving them, and with doing things that bring you fulfillment, it's going to help against depression. And the more you improve yourself, the less depression you're going to feel. For example, I cannot feel depressed right now. Obviously, I'm not saying that I'm immune to
feeling bad
things happening to me.
Right.
Yeah, or temporarily feeling like it's not gonna hold me there.
Yeah. Always speaking my window.
Just a second, because
Yep. Yeah, that is very true, Christopher. Very, very true. Nah. Hey, he's setting up his microphone again, guys. Let's see. They pop up. Don't hear you. Yeah, can't hear you.
How about now?
Okay, now I hear you. Yeah.
Great.
All right. Okay. Christopher said depression can come slowly from one bad relationship in your life, also, which is very, very true. That's a good quote.
Oh, it was disconnected for a second.
Oh, did it?
I heard until the part of depression can come from a relationship.
Yeah, it can come from one bad relationship in your life, as we said. It can come from.
In what kind of way?
Like a bad breakup. Yeah, like a bad breakup or a cheating girlfriend, abusive relationship. You know, that type of thing.
Again, it's what you did to get there. You know, how did you end up to that point where a breakup can affect you so much that it makes you feel like there is no meaning to your life? Don't you have anything else going on in your life that gives you meaning, that just one relationship is enough to affect you?
So, okay. So you think, you don't think a relationship, female-wise, would cause somebody to be depressed?
It can make you feel bad, obviously. Of course it can make you feel bad.
Well, obviously, yeah,
But
true.
it's not like you have to get pills for it. You can just recover from it.
Yeah, okay. That's true. Some people have a harder time, not necessarily moving on, but putting stuff in the, just putting stuff behind them solely, aside from moving on. It's harder for them in that regard.
It is. I've also been through bad breakups. And there were times that it was very hard, but then I hadn't prepared myself for an event like this, so that I were immune to it, so that it couldn't affect me that much. So, for example, if you break up with your girlfriend and you're with her for 5 years and you've never ever interacted with another female again, and you don't know how to get a new girlfriend, you feel like hopeless. You feel like there's no hope in the wind for you. But if you have the skill, just boom, replace, just like that, it feels so much better. And especially when it comes to relationships, you will observe that people tend to very easily forget who they were with before as soon as they get with another partner.
Okay.
In many cases, not all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one right there too, and that's a truthful one. Ice Queen Gaming, she's one of my longtime viewers. I'm talking back when I had 100 subs. She's been here ever since. She had a tragic loss later this year, or actually no, I think it was last year. I think he passed away. Her husband passed away. He was a viewer of mine, and She said a loving passing away can also cause depression, and that is very true. I know she been through that a lot.
Yeah, when it comes to deceased family members, that's a little bit harder to. You gotta think about it from the perspective of, would they want you to feel depressed and be unhappy, or would they want you to move on with your life and just do the best that you can, even though they're not with you anymore? So, how obviously feeling down when you lose somebody that you love is an inevitable aspect of being human. But again, there are ways to handle that and move past it, especially if you realize that that person that you love, that you lost, wouldn't want you to keep feeling like that.
Okay. Definitely agreed there. Let me see here. Do I have any more? I gotta go down my list. I wrote down so much stuff. 1 second. Okay. That's a good question from Matthew. That's what he asked me. He said, what's it like to be your own boss? Basically. What's it like being your own boss?
Man.
He smirked, Matthew, so obviously it's good. He smirked.
Right now, because I've been doing it for so many years, it just feels a more of like normalized kind of thing. Like, think for example, when you eat a food you like for after a very long time, and you, let's say your favorite food is pizza, and you haven't eaten any pizza for 1 year, and then you eat it and you're absolutely ecstatic about it. But then you eat it every day and every day and every day, and it still feels nice. It's pizza, but it's not like how
crazy
it felt at first. Yeah. So
it's
that's
like,
how being your own boss feels right now, because I've been it's such a normalized thing.
So, so I would compare it to walking, basically, for you. It's just like that. It's just something that's just natural now. You just don't really.
Yeah. It's extremely natural. I would never be able to go back to working for someone else. I know that for sure. And there are times when I wake up in the morning and I just wake up feeling happy, because I realize that I don't have a job to go to, I don't have a boss to answer to, and I can just have the privilege of waking up at 12 p.m. After having gone out the night before, and it's Wednesday, and it just doesn't affect me in any kind of way, because I can start working at 1 p.m. and work based on my own schedule. So it feels incredible, man, to be able to just decide to shut everything off for a couple of days and just leave without having to ask for permission from anyone. It's so good.
So do you mostly work from home, or do you have like a legit office? Then
I have an office, but I almost never go from there.
So it's mostly home. You're mostly home, basically. Just freedom.
Mostly home.
Okay. Makes sense. I work for a firm. He's not at work. Well, that's what's up, man. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, that's another good question from Casey. I'm sorry. She said, and I quote, "How many places have you traveled to?"
I lost count after the first dozen.
First dozen? So you
stopped counting. So probably over 30 countries right now, and 50 different cities, but I don't know the exact number.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've seen the world. You basically just experienced everything. Pretty much.
Almost.
More or less.
I've not been to Asia yet.
No, okay. How many languages are you fluent in? This is another question you had for it.
Just to Greek and English. I also know a bit of German, but it's just very elementary level.
Okay. Did that come natural, or was it taught? Like, did you learn it through books, or was it taught through school, or just natural?
A combination of both.
Combination of both. Okay. Let's see here. Kind of a good one, obviously, about you, because it was about you as an interview. So, So we answered that one. What do you think? Might just make one up for this one because that's how I find a good one. What do you think people should set their minds to out here in general when it comes to life? What do you think they should set their mind to?
Set their mind to in what kind of way you mean by the career choice?
I would say just to have a perfect balance of life and, I would say life, knowledge, and just, a better mental stability. If you would think. That's a good one for
I had a saying, I posted it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and it basically says that if you want to be extremely successful, you shouldn't care about any balance other than the balance in your bank, and that one has to be over $10 million. And the point of that is, depending on your end goal in life, you're probably not going to have any balance if you have very high aspirations. However, if you are content with not achieving something extremely monumental, you can actually strive to achieve some balance between different aspects of your life, relationships. My mentor, Ty Lopez, talks about the 4 pillars of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Mm-hmm. And personally, I would just delete happiness from there because happiness is just an after effect of health, wealth, and love.
Okay.
So what should you set your mind to? I think you should set your mind to improving those 3 things in some little way every single day.
Okay. This is from Mark. He asked me, are you a Walking Dead fan?
Not exactly. Although I have that right here.
Oh, he's got Lucille.
Yeah, I have Lucille. It's just a fun prop I got for Halloween. And I've only watched a couple of episodes where Negan starred because I found that character very fascinating.
Yeah.
So I wanted to study how he just went from nobody to being able to have to persuade all those people and become their leader, and how he operated that kind of setting. Because as an entrepreneur, you constantly, when you scale, you need to employ more people to grow your business. And I try to learn from every person, even if it's a fictitious character who has some kind of organizational ability.
Okay. I highly recommend you read the comic for Negan, his story arc. It's actually quite deep in that regard. He was a regular worker. He lost his wife and his daughter, I believe. And the reason why he names the bat Lucille is that's the name of his daughter who was killed.
What comic is that?
It's The Walking Dead season, or let me say, it was volume. I think like volume 12, maybe.
All right.
I think volume 12. I'll definitely gotta look at it. It's been a while.
I'm gonna search for it too as well.
Yeah, it's good though. It's definitely a good comic. I suggest you watch it though, especially the newer ones. They're in the Whisper arc where dudes are literally dressing up as zombies and blending in with the zombies. So
interesting.
It's a cool thing.
All right, Ryan, let's do a couple more.
Yeah, I know you're. No, you kind of cut out a little bit, so I kind of figured. But let's definitely get to some last ones and let you go on about your day. Guys, hope you guys enjoying this interview. Hit that like button for sure. So as we get closer, obviously, things are getting better and everything's fun. So how's the family in general? Everybody good?
Yeah, everybody's doing well. Now I'm just working a little bit more. Totally retire my parents because they're semi-retired, but I want to just buy them a big house by the beach and just let them do whatever the hell they want.
No, just let them just relax. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's see here. So that's cool. That's cool that you do that. Are there any? Is there anything in particular that you would that you're like looking forward to purchasing? Like for example, this is from Carl, or not Carlos. This is from Carl over here in Cincinnati. My friend, he asked me, "Is there anything in particular that you're looking to purchase, like high end?"
Yeah. So it's a huge 100 black matte multi-million-dollar mega yacht, and I have a particular fascination. A Greek entrepreneur, his name is Onassis, and he also had his own yacht. So it's like a mini competition I have with myself to motivate me to get a bigger yacht than he used to have.
Oh, okay. So you try to go up, you try to one up him.
Okay. Yeah, just little tricks to get back that motivational spark I used to have.
Okay, so you like the flex, basically. You try to flex. Let's see. Well, I think that's it for those. I guess I'll just ask one more, and this is going to be for. I'll throw this in here for one a topic that you're really profound and you love this particular thing. Who is your favorite UFC fighter and why?
Oh, favorite UFC fighter. It's very hard to choose. I would say first thing that comes into my mind is Anderson Silva.
Okay.
He has a very unique style. I wouldn't say he's exactly my favorite. However,
GSP.
Sorry, what?
GSP. George St. Pierre, maybe.
No, really. Haven't really looked much into him.
Okay.
Probably it would be Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. Okay, so you went with the GOAT, Anderson Silva. I see. Well, that's definitely all my questions. I think we covered everything. I was trying to definitely throw in some other stuff so more people get to know you. So they click on this, they know a little bit more. That way it saves you some trouble. But ladies and gentlemen, this was a one-on-one interview with Mr. Damian Prosalendis. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you? Twitter, YouTube, everything.
All right, you can find me on all social YouTube /Damian Prosa, and it's the same for Twitter /Damian Prosa, and Instagram the same thing. Okay. And my website is darrenconquer.com. Okay.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this, man. I'm definitely going to be doing more, having more people to talk. So, if you guys have anyone in particular you want me to interview, definitely name them below or hit me up on Twitter or in our official Discord. But this was definitely fun. I hope you had a good time, as well as Damian here. It was definitely good to talk to him again. And yeah, I'm definitely going to shut this down. Shout out to everybody in the chat again. Y'all have a blessed one. And y'all keep striving for greatness. All right? We're going to shut it down. Later. Let me go here.